Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Steve Ritter here. So, continuing with the book of Psalms, and this particular one really resonated with me, Psalm 109. Now, it's another one of David's Psalms, and this one in particular, and I think sometimes, I remember going to, I was on active duty, and we actually took some vacation. We flew Military Space A to Hawaii, and we had some family that was over there at the time. We had a place to stay, and I remember we went on a tour of went to Pearl Harbor and drove around the base there, and there are still buildings there that, as we're driving around the base. And it was early morning. The base was kind of quiet, and you drive around this one base and you see there's still buildings with bullet holes stitched up the side from the Japanese attack from strafing, and I just seeing that there, just connecting history with real life, and then we ended up going out and taking there's a ferry that takes you across to the Arizona Memorial. And I remember going out there, and it was just Nathan and William and Benjamin at the time. Bella wasn't born yet. But we were at the Arizona Memorial, and I remember looking at it, really interesting. They have all the names of all the men that died that day. And then it's real interesting because they keep adding. They kept adding to it. There were some names, and you look at some, and it shows when they were buried there. And there were people that had died since, that survived from the Arizona, that had died since, that wanted to be buried with their at sea in the ship with their shipmates, and they would take them inside and put them in there, which I thought was really interesting. But there was a place where you kind of look out, and the memorial stretches over top of the Arizona. It's still underwater. And I remember I think it was holding William, and we were just kind of looking over the side of the rail into the water, and you could see the ship in the water below. And I remember seeing this bloop, little oil drip come up and spread out. And there was oil in the bunkers of the ship that still is slowly leaking out. And it just connected me with history, just the reality that these were people who had hopes and dreams and lives, and that were like me back then, and it just really brought history alive to me. And I feel the same way reading this psalm about David. And here's a man who, a lot of the psalm is things that he wishes the Lord would do to his enemies. It's different. It's definitely a little more Old Testament than love your enemies and pray for them that you read about in the New Testament. But I mean, just imagine, it just helps me understand what he must have been going through as a king, waiting for Saul, and then now he's king, and what kings deal with. And I mean, he was king. He was Israel's greatest king. But I just imagined all the political intrigue that was always going on, because I think as humans we just don't want to be told what to do. I mean, we have that rebellious streak in us, I guess. It's just that's been my experience with the Air Force. We want to be led, but we don't want a person to tell us what to do. It's funny how that works, but. Anyway, I was reading through this, and just all of the people, people after him, always intrigue. And of course, David had some real threats to his kingdom, as his own son Absalom ended up running him out of town, and a big battle, and he was finally defeated. But and I think about that. But there's this one verse at the end here. And if in your life you're dealing with a person or people, or maybe it's some company coming after you or something, if you're feeling attacked and oppressed, this verse think will give you great comfort. It gives me great comfort. So in 109, verse 30 and 31, verses 30 and 31. So with my mouth I will greatly extol the Lord. In the great throng of worshipers I will praise him, for he stands at the right hand of the needy to save their lives from those who would condemn them. And just remember that. Remember, the Lord is at your right hand to save you from those who would condemn you. And he's there. He's a loving Father to be there for you and to help you during those times. So I would encourage you to think about that. Who's on your side? Don't forget that. So hope you have a happy Sunday, and we'll see you next time.